Okay, extended algebra 2. You have a 10 by 9 foot garden. If you had a uniform walkway around the garden, there is 306 square feet. Find the width of the walkway. Okay, so you're going to make, this is a shape problem, okay? This is a shape problem. When it's a shape problem, you're going to make a top half, you're going to split it, okay? And then down here, you're going to put equals your area, which is 306. Now, how do you get to area of a rectangle? Length times width. Now, let's draw a picture to find out what the heck is going on. You have a 10 by 9 foot garden. You're building a walkway around the outside. So make your dimensions. So we have 10, and this is unknown. This is what I'm trying to figure out, is how thick that is. And then the width would be 9. Figure out how thick that is. Okay, so the length times width. The length is be 2x plus 10. We've done these many times before. Not this complicated. 2x plus 9. Now, multiply that using the FOIL method. That's what this is for. 2x times 2x. 2x times 9. 10 times 2x. And 10 times 9. That's 4x to the second. That's 18x. That's 20x. And that's 90. These are like terms. So we have 4x to the second plus 38x, because I add those, plus 90. Now, forget that this is a story problem. Now you have it all set up. You got two answers. I need a 0 here, so get that 306 out of there, and that goes very nicely with 90. So I have 4x to the second plus 38x, and 90 minus 306 is negative 216. Now you can't wuss out here, okay? 3 terms, so GCF and the table. And here's what you're going to do to find the GCF. The multiplication chart ain't going to cut it. You take the smallest number you got, 4. Well, 4 is in the 4th row. It's in the 2nd row. It's in the 1st row on that table. Now, see if you can divide all these by 4. You know 4 divides by 4. How about 38 divided by 4? Decimal. So if I get a decimal, it ain't going to work. Now, 2. All right, 4 divided by, I know the smallest one, that's why it's in the row. 38 divided by 2 works. 216 divided by 2 works. So 2. Factor out of 2, please. So that gives you 2x to the second plus 19x minus 108. Okay, now I ABC this. Now before I mess around on my table, A is a 2. So please make 2 sets of parentheses with 2x, 2x, okay? So I take A times C. 2 times negative 108 is negative 216. And we're trying to add to get positive 19. So it's a positive times a negative. 1 and 216, that ain't even close. 216 divided by 2 is 108. That's not even close. 3 and 72. Nope. Remember I said don't be a wuss. Okay. Look. Positive 4. This one's the one on this assignment's not this bad on the table. Trust me. Nope, not even close. 5's a decimal. 6, so plus 6 minus 36. That'd be negative 30. Okay, you're getting closer to 19 at least. Let's divide that by 7. Doesn't work. Divide by 8. 27. Remember, positive, negative. I add those, I get negative 19. I need positive 19 though. Okay, so make that plus, make that negative, now add them. 19, got it. So I put minus 8 plus 27. Okay, these two both appear in the second row. Divide down, you get 1x minus 4. These only appear in the row 1, so divide by 1, you'd still be at 2x plus 27. Okay? Drop that factor of 2 down and put equals 0, because now this whole thing at the beginning is now rewritten in factored form. But the f1, f2 just come from here. So 1x minus 4 could equal 0, or 2x plus 27 could equal 0. So I plus 4, that's 4. Don't need to divide by 1. So you have 4, and that's negative 27. Now divide here no matter what. This is a story problem. I want decimals. Negative 13.5. What you need to do, I want to see both those answers, but I want to see you cross out the negative and circle the positive. Remember how to check your answer. Now that I have 4, I got 10 plus 4 plus 4. That's 18. 9 plus 4 plus 4. That is 17. Take 18 times 17, it should match the area. That's how to check the answer. Yep. Told you, bro. We'll go over 2 more. Okay, I did this one yesterday in class. I'll do it again. A rectangular trivet has a 6-inch by 8-inch center and a wooden uniform border. Uniform means it's the same on every side. If the area, it has an area of 120 inches squared, how wide is the border? Okay, so you got 8 by 6. Now again, first I'll put the equation. It's equal to 120, and that's your area, and it's the area of a rectangle's length times width. So now we got to figure out what the length times width, what the heck I'm supposed to write for that. So you got 8xx, 6xx. So we'll be taking 2x plus 8 times 2x plus 6. Now you distribute. That's how all of these are going to be set up. It's finding the thickness of a border. And 8 times 6. So this is 4x squared, 12x, 16x, and 48. You combine those, you have 4x to the second. Combine those into 28x plus 48. Now, not a story problem anymore. There's 2 answers. Okay. I want a 0 here, so I need to minus 120 from 48. That's negative 72, okay? Okay, 3 terms. These are all going to be 3-termers today. Okay, GCF. 428.72, that you can actually use your chart for that. If you want to list the factors of 4, you can. 4, 2, and 1. These will all divide by 4. Factor out of 4, and then you get 1x to the second plus 7x minus 18. That's better than the last one, okay? Now, your A is a 1, okay? So, if it's a 1, it might as well not even be there, x to the second, so I can just make 2 parentheses, xx. Now to figure out the rest, we take 1 times negative 18, okay, positive, negative, and we're adding to try to get positive 7. 1 and 18, that isn't it. 2 and 9, add 2 to negative 9. Well, that's negative 7. We've got to get positive 7, which I can do if I make the 9 plus and the 2 negative. So minus 2 plus 9. Now, that's it. You put equals 0, but remember to drop your 4 down. Now you factored it. Now you use your factors to solve it. X minus 2 equals 0. X plus 9 equals 0. So I add 2. That's 2. I minus 9, and that's negative 9. All right, we take our positive, cross out your negative, take your positive answer, okay? That's your answer, okay? You can check it. This is not mandatory here. 8 plus 2 is 10, plus another 2 is 12. 6 plus 2 is 8, plus another 2 is 10, and 12 times 10 is 120. That's exactly the area I had. Okay, last one. I'm going to do the last one. I'm actually going to skip steps on the T-chart. A rectangular, because these are huge numbers, rectangular pool has dimensions of 40 by 20 feet. A uniform border is added around the walkway, creating an area of 1,125 square feet. Find the width of the border. Okay, so we have this, by the way, it's equal to 1,125. That's the area, and length times width equals area. Now I need an expression simplified for the length and the width. Okay, so you got 40 by 20. So that's 40, and then two x's. You got 20, and then two x's. Okay, so it's going to be 2x plus 40 times 2x plus 20. FOIL it. 2x times 2x, 2x times 20, 40 times 2x, and 40 times 20. 4x squared, 40x, 80x, and 800. This is not going to be a fun one. Combine like terms, plus 120x, plus 800. Yikes. Two answers. Got to add your 0 here. Okay, minus 1125, and then we can minus it from 800. Negative 1,300 equals 0. Three terms. Oh, no, that's wrong. I don't know why I wrote that. That isn't even close. Minus that's 325. Okay. Okay, so GCF, okay. Now your chart's definitely not going to work. So 4, you got 4, 2, and 1. See if you can divide them all by 4. 4 divides by 4. 120 does. 325 will not. To divide by 4, it has to be an even. 4 divides by 2, that's 2. 120 divided by 2 works, but 325 divided by 2 is a decimal. Okay, leaves us with 1, so let's not do that. So I got to factor this. 4 times negative 325. I got negative 1,300. Yikes. Positive, negative. All story problems are positive, negative. Most of them, 99% of them. And you're adding to get positive 120. You fail until you divide it by 10. I'm going to skip that. So I take 1,300 divided by 10, 130. Because then when I add 10 to negative 130, we need positive 120. We have negative 120, so I go plus 130 minus 10. These multiply to negative 1,300. They also add to 120. Oops, I make your parentheses, okay? Your A is 4x squared, so you're going to need two sets. 4x, 4x, minus 10 plus 130. Now 4 and 10, check that out. You can't divide them by 4, but you can divide them both by 2. They're in the second row. 2x minus 5. Now 130. See if you can divide 130 by 4. If it doesn't work, divide it by 2. You know you can divide 4 by 2. 2x plus 65. Now we're going to put equals 0. Don't need anything because I didn't do anything in the GCF. F1, F2. So 2x minus 5 could equal 0, or 2x plus 65 could equal 0. So I plus 5, I get 5. Divide by 2. 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. It's 2.5. So 2x equals negative 65 divided by 2. Negative 32.5. Now I want to see both those answers, but we get rid of the negative, and it's 2.5 feet wide. All right, now if you want to check your answer, you go 40 plus 2.5 plus another 2.5. It's going to be 45. Then I go 20 plus 2.5 plus another 2.5, 25. Take 45 times 25, and you tell me if that's equal to 1,125. Sure is. All right, you just do the last one. Okay, now I got a second thing for you to do today. This goes very quick. It's a little rehash from last year, but it's a skill I want you to maintain. 10% of my paycheck is spent on groceries. If I spend $300 of my paycheck on groceries, how much money is in my paycheck? You make a proportion, ratios. With percents, you have 100% on the bottom, because that's the total of a percent, and you got 10% on top. Now, what a percent really means is it's part over total. Now, for the part, we're going to define it, and I put it in what it's defined by in the circle, spent on groceries. Now, you need to reread the problem and tell me if $300 is spent on groceries. 10% of my paycheck is spent on groceries. I spend $300 of my paycheck on groceries. How much money is in my paycheck? Obviously, it says 300 spent on groceries. That's the part. You put X, and then you cross multiply and divide. So you take 100 times 30 divided by 10. 100 times 300 divided by 10. $3,000 is in your total paycheck. Okay, next one. 20% of land in the United States is covered by mountains. If there are 200,000 square miles in the United States, how much of that is covered by mountains? Okay, 100%, and you have 20% up here. Part over the total. Okay, now what's the part defined by? It says it right there, covered by mountains. Okay, question. We got to decide where, let's reread the problem. 20% of land in the United States is covered by mountains. If there are 200,000 square miles in the United States, how much it's covered by mountains? 200,000 miles were not covered by mountains. Okay, it never says that. So 200,000 is your total. My job is to find the part that's covered by mountains. That's why they're asking me how much is covered by mountains. So I take 20 times 200,000 divided by 100. 40,000. So the part that's covered by mountains is 40,000 square miles. Okay, 45% of the trolls in the Magic Forest had happy faces. If 200 trolls had happy faces, how many trolls were there altogether? 45% over 100%. Part total. The part, those had happy faces. They're happy trolls. Now let's reread the problem and decide what the 200 had happy faces. Okay, 45% of trolls in the Magic Forest had happy faces. 200 trolls had happy faces. How many trolls were there altogether? That couldn't be more obvious. It says they have happy faces, and you got to find how many there were altogether. That means you're finding the total. So 100 times 200 divided by 45. Don't put all that crap after the decimal. Just put 444. 444 trolls. 200 were happy, which accounts for 45% of the total. Okay, I can bench press 200% of my body weight. If I can bench press 500 pounds, what is my body weight? 100%, and yes, you're going to put 200% here. Okay, part over total. Sometimes the part's bigger than the total, because the part is what I can bench press. That's why I've circled that. Now I want to see if I can bench press 500 pounds, or whether it's 500 pounds total. I can bench press 200% of my body weight. If I can bench press 500 pounds, okay, so I can bench press that. What's my body weight? So my total is the body weight. 100 times 500 divided by 200 is 250. So you weigh 250 pounds. Okay, 40% of the students in school dressed up for Spirit Day. If 120 dressed up for Spirit Day, how many students are in school? 100%, 40%. Part over total. Now what defines the part? Dressed up for Spirit Day. I mean, you can write however much of that as you want, but just know what that means. Okay, 40% of the students in school dressed up for Spirit Day. If 120 dressed up for Spirit Day, how many students are in school? It says they dressed up for Spirit Day, so 120 here, I'm finding the total. 100 times 120 divided by 40, 300. Now again, you might want to make sure your answer makes sense, okay? Obviously, if you get a number lower than 120, that makes no sense. You can't have 50 students in a school and have 120 of them dress up. 60% of the roads need to be reconstructed. If there are 300 roads, how many need to be reconstructed? Okay, part, total. Part need to be reconstructed. Now, the roads I'm given in the problem. 60% of the roads need to be reconstructed. If there are 300 roads, how many need to be reconstructed? Doesn't say 300 roads need to be reconstructed. So that's how many I have total. X is how many need to be reconstructed. Okay, so I cross multiply and divide. Camera's about to die. The answer is going to be 180. Okay.